Hey guys, it's Paige and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another Australia versus America type of video. I'm really excited to do this because on my last video I got a lot of positive feedback and a lot of you guys were kind of asking questions and things. It seemed like you guys did want me to make a part 2 or just a series in general, which is what I was saying in the first video. So I'm excited to be actually kind of doing this series, which is like the comparisons between America and Australia. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into this video. Alright, so the first one that I'm going to get into is the way that people dress. So the way that I'm dressed right now, this is a dress and these are kind of like dangly, fancier earrings, and I think that I look a little bit more put together. This is like a casual look here in Australia. So in general, the people here dress more fancy. Like what I would consider casual in America would be more like a flannel or like a t-shirt, but here, this is a casual look for them. And it's really, really cool to see everyone so chic and you're just like, oh, okay, look at all you beautiful people. But that's definitely something that I've noticed is a difference here in Australia. You guys dress fancier, but it's awesome because to you it's not fancy, but to me it is, and I like it. The second one is that like some things you just wouldn't expect for whatever reason. I didn't like foresee this happening, but Hulu and Netflix and all of those like online streaming things are different here. So one, you can't even have Hulu here. So I have a Hulu subscription, but like here I cannot even use it. It's just like not, they don't have it here in Australia. And also two, Netflix is different here. Like there are different titles on it, which makes me so happy in some ways and sad in others, because some things I really wanted to watch, like The Sound of Music or Ratatouille, I'm like, why aren't these on Netflix? Why? And then when I got here and I searched them, like they were both on there and I was so excited about that. But they also don't have like the classics. I mean, not actual classics, because Sound of Music's a real classic, but present day classics, like where's Scandals? Where's Pretty Little Liars? Come on, what are you doing, Australian Netflix? But they do have some other really, really good ones. Like I said, The Sound of Music and Ratatouille are movies I love and I've been craving, so I will get to watch those. The next one is the media. So the media here is different. Excuse the plane that's flying, that happens so much here. So the media is different. So comedians, like they joke about different content and I like don't understand it because I'm not Australian, so like their humor is even different because general everyday society and life here is different. So the comedian style and the things that they think are funny are different. I don't really understand a lot of the jokes, to be honest. But even the things that they talk about over here in Australia, they talk a lot more about the whole world. So like their news, you learn about all different places. So in Australia, you will still hear about America, you'll hear about New Zealand or like wherever you'll hear about, and as well as Australia. But I just feel like in Australia, they get a much bigger like well-rounded view of what's going on everywhere, whereas in America it's like America, 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 your news, America, your media, America. It's like everything is just all about us. So that's something I've noticed here is their media is a lot more multicultural and like it's international. So another thing that I've noticed is that here in Australia, there's a thing called like Bogan, and I'm not gonna like be able to say this like exactly right, but a Bogan person is, I guess, just kind of like a humble person who's not really living life lavish, and they're just like an everyday person working hard and living. So because of like what is called like the Bogan, and like I said, I may not have explained that perfectly. Obviously Australians watching this will be like, girl, that was wrong, but that's my understanding that I can give you. But because of that, there's a thing called like the tall poppy syndrome, or the tall poppy effect. So whoever's like the tallest poppy, you cut them down. So what that means is like if you are in America, it's really, really cool to be vain. It's really cool to be like, I'm divalicious, I'm popping, it's me, look at me, look what I did. I did this, this, and this. Let me post it everywhere on social media. Let me tell everyone, like, let me just like, it's all about me. In Australia, it's not like that. Like if you brag about your accomplishments, it's like with the tall poppy syndrome, they'll cut you down so that you're even with everyone else, and they'll just kind of like rag on you till you, like their humor's a lot more like what we would consider like vicious in America, but they're just being playful. It's just like a different standard here. But you don't brag about stuff here, so it's much cooler here to be humble. It's like if you're vain and if you're into yourself, it's not cool here. Whereas in America, that's like a cool thing. It's like, wow, she's so pretty and she knows it. Like here, it's like, wow, like she's beautiful and she's super humble. Like that's really, really cool. So like within that, people, if they have really successful things going on in their life, like they're not going to talk about it. Like you won't even know. Like they could be the most poppin' person. They might dress down a bit. They just won't even speak about it, which is very different than American society. Because you know everything about people. They're like, I wiped my butt today. And they're like, whoop, whoop. You know, like it doesn't matter how big or small. They're going to tell you and be like proud of themselves. So the next one that I noticed is in America, I am considered Black. Sometimes I'm called African American, but in America in general, the two words are interchangeable, African American or Black. Here in Australia, Black people are not African Americans. Black people here are the Aboriginal people of Australia, so the people who are the indigenous people here who first inhabited this land. And I actually have a poster that I saved because I thought it was so interesting. Give me 1 second. Here's like, this is like a Black History Month poster thing. So Black History Month, and as you can see, it's a indigenous person. So it's not like me, it's not my culture, it's not African Americans, but so here I was calling myself Black, and I realized when I saw that poster and I talked to some people about it that I'm not considered Black here, I'm considered American. And if I'm not considered American, I'm considered African American, but I'm not Black, which is so strange for me because in America, that's how I identify. I'd be like, oh yeah, like I'm Black, but I'm not Black here, and the Black people here are indigenous people. Although I don't think they call the indigenous people Black, like in general, like they don't do that, but for something like this, they would be called Black. But in general, they don't walk around saying like, oh, Black people. Like it's not how it is in America, where it's very common to call African Americans Black. It's not the same. Does that make any sense? It's not like generally used as much, but it's just different people, groups, or cultures that are labeled that here. So that segues me into my next point, which is that here they categorize, in Australia, I mean, they categorize more by nationality than they would do as your culture or race. So here they'll be like, oh, you're American. Whereas like in America, we're like, oh, I'm white, Black, Native American, like whatever that is. But if you came to Australia, all of those people would just be considered American. So I'm not really considered African American here. I guess to some people, but most people would just refer to me as American. Whereas in America, I'm always African American, or I'm always Black, or I'm always like something like that. But like they just categorize by nationality, which is just that like whole country. And they do that in general with most people. So like New Zealanders or Australians or blah, 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 but they wouldn't say like white people really, like they would say Australians. Within the whole like world of people who are in Australia, because there's a lot of people from different cultures, they would just call them Aussies in general. So like my host dad is South American and my host mom is a white Australian, but they would just both be called Australian here. They're not going to say he's South American because like that's his ethnicity, I suppose, or this is really getting jumbled. I'm just saying, no matter what your color is, no matter what your culture is, wherever you are born, that's kind of how they'll categorize you. If you're born in Australia, you're Australian. If you're born in America, you're American. You're not African American, Mexican American, like you're not that. Does that make sense? I hope so. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. That's really, really good for these types of videos. Make sure you also leave me comments down below. I love engaging with you guys. I love when you have things to say. Hit that subscribe button as well if you feel like it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye! Hey guys, it's Paige and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to style Senegalese twists. I love these babies and now I've had them for a couple weeks now, so I can kind of show you guys how to actually style them. This is also a tutorial